Shein has built a $38 to $48 billion empire on the broken promises of affordable fashion while deliberately hiding a dark underbelly of consumer deception and exploitation. Behind their flashy TikTok hauls and Instagram influencer campaigns lies a business model dependent on systematic customer manipulation, generating billions, while leaving a trail of frustrated consumers and undelivered goods. Welcome to today's deep dive, everyone. If you're watching this, you've probably encountered Shein somewhere. Maybe you've ordered from them, seen their ads, or watched those addictive haul videos where influencers unbox dozens of dirt cheap items. But today we're pulling back the curtain on what has become one of the most controversial retail giants in the world. The numbers are staggering. For 2025, Shein is projected to generate $56 to $58.5 billion in revenue, continuing its explosive growth trajectory with a market share of 18% globally and a commanding 40% in the US fashion market. In just a few years, they've transformed from an obscure Chinese retailer to the world's largest fast fashion company, outpacing traditional giants like H&M, which reported around $22 billion in 2022. But this explosive growth comes with serious questions about Shein's business practices, particularly how they treat their customers. Today, we're focusing on the consumer experience and the troubling patterns of complaints that points to more than just growing pains. It suggests deliberate strategies designed to maximize profits at the expense of customers. Let's start with what many Shein customers have experienced firsthand: a pattern of deceptive practices that leave consumers frustrated and out of pocket. Price discrepancies. One of the most reported issues with Shein is price manipulation during the checkout process. Thousands of customers have reported that items advertised at one price suddenly increase when added to their cart or during checkout. It's not just an occasional glitch, it's been documented consistently across social media platforms, consumer forums, and Better Business Bureau complaints. This bait-and-switch tactic is particularly concerning when you consider that Shein's entire business model is built on attracting price-sensitive consumers with the promise of ultra-low costs. When you're marketing $5 tops and $10 dresses as your core selling proposition, even small price increases at checkout represent a significant percentage markup that goes unnoticed until customers are already invested in the purchase. Non-delivery issues. Perhaps the most troubling pattern involves packages marked as delivered that customers never received. On the Better Business Bureau website, numerous consumers report tracking information showing their orders as delivered when nothing actually arrived. One customer wrote, "I have contacted the shipping carrier like they informed me to do, and the shipper told me to contact the seller, Shein. I have been going back and forth for weeks now." What makes this particularly problematic is Shein's response, or lack thereof. Instead of addressing these issues promptly, customers report being told to check surrounding areas or neighbors and being given the runaround between Shein and shipping carriers, with neither taking responsibility. Refund challenges. The difficulties continue when customers attempt to obtain refunds for missing or incorrect items. According to consumer complaints, Shein's refund process is designed to be prohibitively difficult. Many customers report that even when following the company's complex return procedures, refunds are frequently delayed, denied, or simply ignored. According to one review on Scam Detector, a customer stated, "I paid to return my items to Shein. Then I selected all the items that I wanted to return and paid without any incident. I packaged everything as I was supposed to, and I mailed the package. Yet despite following all procedures, the customer was shocked when the package that I paid for using your return label ended up back at my front door, and one of the items is missing." This type of experience isn't isolated. Another customer reported waiting 3 weeks for a response to a refund they issued me May 1st. Never received it. I've emailed over 3 times about this issue. These accounts suggest a systematic approach designed to minimize refunds regardless of legitimate customer claims. Let's take a look at how they respond typically to customers if the order is marked as delivered yet was never delivered. Shein writes, "Good day. Thank you for contacting Shein customer service. We are deeply sorry for the unpleasant experience you have to experience. Regarding your issue, we would like to inform you according to the shipping company, your package has been marked as delivered. Therefore, we are unable to proceed with your request. It is recommended for you to check the delivery address you used And you may check if there is a package in your mailbox, porch, and/or front desk where you live, or if it was signed by a neighbor. We are very sorry for this upsetting experience. The issue caused is not intentional and will benefit neither of us, as we are constantly working hard to provide the best services. Please do contact us again if you have any queries. It will be our pleasure to be able to help you. Thank you very much for your understanding. Hope you and your beloved ones are always healthy, safe, and happy. Best regards, Shein Customer Service. As you can see, this lack of accountability leaves customers very frustrated and without a product or their money. Customer service issues. Compounding these problems is Shein's customer service, which many describe as unresponsive or unhelpful. Consumers frequently report difficulties getting meaningful assistance, with automated responses and lack of follow-through being common complaints. The pattern suggests a deliberate understaffing of customer support relative to Shein's massive customer base, a cost-saving measure that allows the company to maintain its ultra-low price points while limiting its accountability when things go wrong. Financial section. To understand why these customer service issues persist, we need to follow the money. Shein's business model is built on maximum volume with minimum overhead, including customer service costs, profit margins, and financial performance. In 2024, Shein's net profit is estimated at approximately $1 billion, down 37.5% from $1.6 billion in 2023. This represents a significant profit margin contraction from 8% to about 2 to 3%. Still translating to enormous profits given their revenue scale, but showing signs of pressure. This profit squeeze explains the increasing frustration customers are experiencing. As Shein faces growing competition from rivals like Temu, rising shipping costs, and increased investment in regulatory compliance, they appear to be preserving profits by cutting corners on customer service and quality control. According to financial reports, Shein's profit in the first half of 2024 declined by more than 70% to just below $400 million on $18 billion in revenue. When a company experiences this kind of margin pressure, it often becomes more aggressive in extracting maximum value from each customer interaction, including being less generous with refunds and order issues. Please take 2 seconds to hit the like and subscribe if you found this video interesting so far. Each like and subscribe helps support this channel and keeps us motivated to keep making you great content. Thank you. Now, let's continue. Impact on investors and market valuation. This deteriorating customer experience is beginning to impact Shein's valuation. While Shein reached a peak valuation of $100 billion in 2022, recent reports indicate a significant correction, with secondary market transactions valuing the company between $45 to $66 billion in 2024, a reduction of up to 55% from its peak. According to Reuters, Shein investors are trying to sell shares in the private market at prices that value the Chinese online retailer as low as $45 billion, or a discount of around 30% to its valuation about a month back. This suggests growing investor concern about Shein's business model's sustainability and potential regulatory challenges. For those of you interested in investing in retail or e-commerce stocks, these valuation swings highlight the volatility and risk associated with companies like Shein that prioritize hyper-growth over customer satisfaction and regulatory compliance, regulatory issues, and labor practices. Beyond customer service issues, Shein faces mounting scrutiny over its labor practices and regulatory compliance, labor violations, and working conditions. In its own 2023 sustainability report, Shein admitted to finding 2 cases of child labor within its supply chain. These weren't isolated incidents, but part of a broader pattern of labor violations that persist despite the company's public commitments to ethical sourcing. According to investigations by Public Eye, a Swiss human rights advocacy group, workers in Shein's supply chain factories were found to be working an average of 75 hours a week, approximately 12 hours daily for 6 to 7 days per week. These conditions persist despite Shein's repeated promises to improve working conditions. A May 2024 investigation revealed that these excessive working hours remain common practice, with workers reporting taking only 1 day off per month because it costs too much to take additional days. This suggests a payment structure that essentially forces overtime work to earn a living wage. According to the Asia Floor Wage Alliance, a living wage in China is approximately 6,512 yuan, or $900 per month. However, workers in Shein's supply chain reportedly earn between 6,000 and 10,000 yuan monthly, only through excessive overtime. When calculated at standard working hours, wages fall to around 2,400 yuan, or $332, far below living wage standards. U.S. regulatory concerns. Shein's business model has also attracted scrutiny from U.S. regulators and lawmakers. The company has been accused of exploiting the de minimis rule, which allows packages valued under $800 to enter the U.S. without paying duty fees. According to testimony before a joint House and Senate hearing, this practice allows Shein to circumvent the Uyghur Forced Labor Prevention Act, which bans products made with forced labor from China's Xinjiang region. Without formal entry documentation required for duty payment, enforcement of import bans becomes significantly more difficult. A Bloomberg investigation revealed that Shein was using Xinjiang's cotton in its clothes, raising serious concerns about forced labor in its supply chain. These regulatory issues cast a long shadow over Shein's future, particularly as the company prepares for a potential public listing. Economic impact. For investors and homebuyers watching this, Shein's business model has broader economic implications worth understanding. Market disruption. Shein's ultra-fast fashion model is reshaping the retail landscape in ways that affect both traditional retailers and the broader economy. By producing thousands of new items daily, an estimated 2,000 new SKUs every day, and maintaining a catalog of around 600,000 products, Shein has created unprecedented price pressure on traditional retailers. This has contributed to the closure of brick-and-mortar stores across America, affecting local economies and commercial real estate values. For real estate investors focused on retail properties, this shift toward online ultra-low-cost retailers represents a significant challenge. Housing market connection. While Shein doesn't directly impact housing markets, its business model reflects broader economic trends relevant to home buyers and investors. The company exemplifies the increasing globalization of retail and the growing disconnect between where products are made and where they're consumed. For housing market participants, understanding these global supply chain dynamics is crucial. Just as Shein's business model depends on exploiting cost differential between markets, real estate investors must navigate similar dynamics in an increasingly connected global economy. The pressure on traditional retail also affects local employment and wages, which in turn influence housing affordability and demand in many markets. As traditional retail jobs disappear, communities may experience shifting employment patterns that affect their housing markets. Investment implications. For investors watching this analysis, Shein represents both opportunity and warning. On one hand, the company's explosive growth demonstrates the potential returns from identifying and investing in disruptive business models. On the other, its declining valuation and mounting regulatory challenges highlight the risks of businesses built on regulatory arbitrage and questionable practices. If you're considering investing in retail or e-commerce, Shein's trajectory offers valuable lessons about sustainability versus growth. Companies that achieve growth through superior customer experience and ethical practices typically demonstrate more sustainable long-term value than those relying on regulatory loopholes or cost-cutting at the expense of customer satisfaction. Conclusion. So what does all this mean for you as a consumer, investor, or home buyer? First, as consumers, we need to recognize that ultra-low prices often come with hidden costs, whether in customer service quality, product reliability, or ethical considerations. Shein's pattern of customer complaints suggests a business model designed to minimize accountability while maximizing volume. For investors, Shein's trajectory offers important lessons about sustainable growth versus exploitative business models. Companies building long-term value typically invest in customer satisfaction and regulatory compliance, rather than cutting corners to maintain unsustainable growth. And for those interested in economic trends affecting housing and investment markets, Shein exemplifies the increasingly complex global supply chains reshaping our economy, with implications for everything from commercial real estate to local employment patterns that ultimately influence housing markets. As Shein prepares for a potential public listing, these issues will face increasing scrutiny. The company's ability to address its customer service failings, labor practices, and regulatory challenges will determine whether it represents the future of retail or a cautionary tale about unsustainable business practices. Thanks for watching this analysis. If you find this video interesting, please subscribe, share, and watch this one as well.